Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a strategy called Foundations for Growth, and it hones in on a few tech stocks that it says have a serious runway for growth by 2027. So let's dig in and see what it's all about.
You know, it's the question every single investor is asking themselves right now. The market is zigging and zagging, and trying to find a clear path forward can feel, well, pretty much impossible. Where do you even begin to look for real, long-term growth? Well, here's the thing. According to this analysis, the answer isn't some flashy new trend that's grabbing all the headlines. No, it's hiding in the essential, kind of boring building blocks of our digital world, the companies working behind the scenes that most of us just take for granted. And that brings us to the big idea here, the 2027 tech opportunity. This is not about chasing next week's hot stock, it's about taking a strategic, 3-year look ahead and identifying the absolutely essential companies that are going to power the next wave of tech.
And really, this sentence captures the entire game plan. We're hunting for technology that is completely non-negotiable, the bedrock of our future, but that you can still buy today at what might look like a serious discount in a few years.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, why these specific sectors, and why right now? What's the big deal about this particular moment? Well, the report says this whole opportunity really hinges on one single powerful concept: undervaluation.
And let's be crystal clear about what undervalued actually means. It's not just about a stock being cheap. It means the company's price tag on the market today doesn't fully reflect its true long-term worth, especially when you factor in some really powerful, predictable industry trends. Now check this out. This really highlights the gap we're talking about. Today's price, that's all about emotion, daily headlines, and short-term noise. But the projected potential for 2027, that's based on massive, long-term forces like unstoppable demand. And that gap, well, that's right where the opportunity is. So, this analysis really zooms in on two critical areas it calls the absolute bedrock of our digital future. First, the physical stuff that actually makes AI run. And second, the cybersecurity that has to protect every single piece of it. Let's take a closer look at each one. First up, let's talk about AI's bedrock. You know that old saying about a gold rush, right? Don't dig for gold, sell the picks and shovels. Well, that is exactly the thinking here. I mean, just think about it. Every single time you use an AI tool, it's running on a physical server somewhere, packed into a giant data center. That creates a crazy, insatiable demand for two things: an unbelievable amount of electricity and really sophisticated cooling systems to stop it all from melting down. And that's where companies like Vertiv step in. They make the unglamorous but absolutely vital hardware the entire AI revolution is built on.
I absolutely love this quote from the report because it just cuts right to the point. While everyone is mesmerized by the flashy AI software, the real, tangible growth could be with the companies doing the hard, essential work of just keeping the lights on. Okay, on to that second pillar, our digital guardians. So, if AI infrastructure is the solid foundation of the building, then cybersecurity is the cutting-edge security system protecting every single room inside it. And the need for this is just as non-negotiable. As pretty much our entire world moves onto the cloud, the number of doors and windows for bad guys to sneak through just grows and grows. For any business today, cybersecurity isn't optional anymore. It's a utility, just like paying for water or electricity. The report flags leaders in this area, like CrowdStrike, who are basically setting the gold standard for how to protect our most important digital stuff.
All right, so we've covered the why and the what. But now for the really fun part. Let's try to visualize what this potential growth could actually mean in real dollars and cents.
You know, words like undervaluation and long-term potential can feel a little abstract. So let's make it real. Let's put some numbers to this idea and see what it could actually look like.
Let's start with a nice, simple number. Imagine you were to invest just $1,000 today, spread across these foundational sectors we've been talking about. Okay, so the report projects a potential average annual growth rate of about 26% here. Let's see how that unfolds. After year one, that $1,000 turns into $1,260. Simple enough. But this is where the magic of compounding kicks in. The next year's growth is calculated on that new, higher amount, pushing you up to almost $1,600. And by the end of 2027, that initial $1,000 could become $2,000. I mean, think about that for a second. The crucial takeaway here isn't just the profit, it's the potential to double your investment in just 3 years, all fueled by the steady, compounding growth of these essential industries.
Now, seeing those numbers is powerful, for sure. But the real goal here is to understand the principles behind the strategy. These are the big ideas you can take with you and apply to your own thinking.
So let's boil it all down. First, think long-term. Look out towards 2027, not at the crazy headlines of the day. Second, go find those picks and shovels, the companies making the essential tools for the next big thing. Third, get good at spotting that gap between today's price and tomorrow's real potential. And finally, maybe most importantly, focus on what's absolutely essential, because in our digital world, it doesn't get much more essential than power and security.
And that brings us to one last question to leave you with. We've talked about AI infrastructure and cybersecurity being foundational for 2027. But if you look even further out, to 2030, what other massive trends are just getting started today that you think will completely reshape our world? It's a really powerful question to chew on.